Hello again, guys. Welcome to math. We are going to be working with halves and fourths today. Halves and fourths. So here is our solve and share today. Draw a line inside the circle to show two equal shares. Color one of the shares. Then write numbers to tell how many shares are colored. Draw lines inside the rectangle to show four equal shares. Color two of the shares, then write numbers to tell how many shares are colored. All right, so I'm going to draw my first one, and I have to draw a line inside my circle to show two equal shares. So two equal shares, I'm going to draw across right there. And that looks about equal to me. And then it says to color one of the shares in. I'm just going to kind of scribble it in. Okay. So now it says, then write the numbers to tell how many shapes or how many shares are colored. So I cut my circle into two shares, and I colored one share. So one share out of two shares, equal shares, is colored. Okay, one out of two. One out of two is colored because here's one, two, but only one is colored. Now for our next one, it says, draw lines inside the rectangle to show four equal shares. Okay, four equal shares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my rectangle in half. Okay, how many shares do I have right now? Two. And now I'm going to do it this way. Is that equal? Let's see here. I have 1, 2, 3. Is that equal? No, that's not equal. So I'm going to add one more on this side. Those aren't equal either. Let me move my lines a little bit. Let me see if I can do it a little bit better. I'm going to use my mouse this time. And the best way to measure anything to make sure they're equal is to use a ruler, and mine is about 2 1/4. So let's see. I mean 1 1/4 would be half. Oh man, this is hard without doing it on a flat piece of paper. So I'm just going to call it my best, and I'm going to go half of that and half of that. Now that is not perfect by any means, but I am getting pretty close. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 shares, and they are meant to be equal. I know that they don't look equal right now, but they are meant to be equal. And then it says to color 2 of the shares. Now it doesn't matter which 2 shares I color, as long as I just color how many? 2. So I'm going to color 1, and I'll color this one, 2. Okay. So I colored 2 shares, color 2 of the shares. Then write numbers to tell how many shares are colored. Okay, so 2 out of the 4 equal shares are colored. Okay, let's go to our visual learning.
You can can divide shapes into halves and fourths. How could you describe this circle? This circle is divided into halves. How could you describe the yellow share of the circle? You could say the yellow share is 1 out of 2 equal shares. Half of the circle is yellow. This rectangle is divided into halves. How could you describe each share of the rectangle?
Okay, how are we going to describe each share of the rectangle? Okay, let's see here. This share is yellow. This share is green. So 1 of 2 shares is yellow, or 1 of 2 shares is green.
You could say each share is 1 out of 2 equal shares. You could also say each share is half, or half of the rectangle. The shares are triangles. What could you do to check whether the 2 triangles are equal? You could see whether they match exactly. 2 of the halves make 1 whole rectangle. This circle is divided into fourths, or quarters. 4 of the quarters make 1 whole circle. How could you describe the blue share of the circle?
How could you describe the blue share of the circle? How many of the quarters is blue? Just 1. So 1/4, 1 out of the 4 shares, or 1/4 of the 4 shares is blue.
You could say the blue share is 1 out of 4 equal shares, or 1/4 of the circle. 1/4 of the circle is blue. How could you describe the whole rectangle? You could say 4 out of 4 equal shares make a whole rectangle. 1/4, or 1/4, of the rectangle is yellow. 1/4, or 1/4, of the rectangle is orange. What do you notice about the green shares of the rectangle? They are half of the rectangle. Half of the rectangle is green. Does it matter that the green shares are not on the same side of the rectangle?
Okay, does it matter? Okay, let's figure that out. Drag the quarters into the rectangle to count the number of equal shares. So now, this is 1 whole rectangle right here, right? 1 whole rectangle. And we need to fit in 4 quarters of the rectangle into the bigger rectangle. So I'm going to start with 1. I'm going to do it different than them. 2. 3. 4. Now I mixed up their colors, but remember their question asked, does it matter that the green, the 2 pieces of green were in separate spots because they were right here before, remember? But I am just moving it to a new spot. So what can you tell about the green?
No, because 2 of 4 equal shares of the rectangle are green. So, half of the rectangle is green. What color is half of this circle? Select your answer.
Okay, remember it doesn't matter if they're not right next to each other. It's still, these are all still equal shares. So if I were to move it around, they would still be equal shares. So I need to get half just 1/2 is one line, okay, of the circle. Which color is half the circle? Or which color is 2 of the 4 equal shares is another way to say half. Which color is 2 of the 4 equal shares? Orange is the only one with 2 colors.
You could say the orange shares are 2 out of 4 equal shares, 2/4, or 2/4 of the circle. So half of the circle is orange.
Now you know about halves and fourths of shapes.
All right, guys. Now this is going to be in your seesaw class today. But first, let's look at our practice problems. Circle the correct shapes for each problem. Okay, so now we are looking for the ones that have 1/4 blue, or 1 of the 4 equal shares blue. 1/4 blue. So this one has 2/4. This one is just 1 whole. It has no quarters. This one has 1 blue, and they're equal shares. So that's 1/4 blue. And this one has 3 yellow quarters and 1 blue quarter. So 1/4 is blue. Now this next one is 1/2 yellow. 1/2 yellow. So if I cut something in half, I cut it in 2. Okay, so 1/2 yellow. This one has a half of a yellow circle. This one would be half blue. This one would be 3/4 green. And this one is half yellow. Half yellow. Okay, so I would circle the circle and I would circle the square. Now I am going to look at the do you understand today. What share of the rectangle is green? Now these are 4 equal shares. How many is colored? 1 is colored. 1 out of how many are colored? 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 out of 4 is colored. So it is 1/4 green, or 1 out of 4 equal shares. All right, guys, I want you to make sure to use these vocabulary words, and this will be in Seesaw. Have a great day,